The first step to cooking anything is gathering your ingredients. If you don't have them, you have to go to the grocery store. Now that I've bought all my ingredients, it's time to make the first recipe. The first thing we'll be making is our ginger green tea. The ingredients for this tea is 8 cups of water, 1 green tea bag, a half cup of sugar, 2 tablespoons honey, and a 1/4 teaspoon ginger. The first step is boiling 8 cups of water. Once your water is boiling, you can take it off the heat, put in your tea bag, find the lid, and let it steep for an hour. When your tea is almost done steeping, you can take your honey, just 2 tablespoons, and your sugar and put it in the pitcher. As a final step, you add in your ginger. And then you can stir. Asian countries are known for using spices in their foods and drinks because of their history in the Silk Route. Now your tea is done. For the next part of my meal, I will be making Uzbek naan bread. This calls for 2 cups of lukewarm water, 2 teaspoons active yeast, 1½ teaspoons salt, a cup of whole wheat flour, 4 cups of all-purpose flour, an egg, and then for toppings you can use sesame seeds or poppy seeds. The first step is to dissolve your yeast and your salt in warm water. Next, you're going to take your 1 cup of whole wheat flour, and pour it into your mixture, and mix it till it's smooth. You want to make sure there's no clumps in your mixture. Next, you're going to add in your unbleached all-purpose flour a cup at a time and mixing it every time until it's smooth. By now it should be becoming more like a doughy consistency. After this one, you're going to want to take it out and start kneading it on a floured surface. You want to make sure you put a lot of flour on your surface before you start kneading, because the bread will be slightly sticky. And then when you start kneading, you want to make sure you get flour on the inside so there's no sticky areas left. Naan bread is a large part of Indian culture, and it originated in India, but it's eaten in most South Asian cultures. The record of naan bread was first found in 1300 AD in a poet's writing. After kneading, you're going to let your bread rise in a bowl covered by a damp cloth. You want to have a pretty big bowl because the yeast makes the bread rise a lot, and the damp cloth keeps the bread from drying out. You're going to put it in a warm spot and let it rise for about 2 hours. Okay, so now after 2 hours, our bread has risen. The next step after your dough has risen is to break it into 6 equal-sized balls. Cover them and let them rise individually for 20 minutes. While they're rising, preheat the oven to 425 degrees. Now that they're done rising, we can get them ready to bake. You can put them on a pan, and then the next step is to smush them with your fist to flatten them out a little bit. Usually they use a special tool in these countries to poke holes in the naan bread, but I made my own using a plastic fork. And depending on the occasion, the designs that they make are more intricate or more simple. I'm just going to do some circles. Now I'll try a flower design. After poking holes in the bread, you're going to paint it with 1 egg. Cover the entire surface, not too thick. Now you can choose what you're going to put on your bread. A lot of the times they put little seeds on, so I have sesame seeds as well as poppy seeds. And I'm going to make it kind of like an everything bagel. Put on. Now it's ready to bake. You bake it at 425 degrees for about 15 minutes. The naan bread is done. Traditionally, naan bread is baked in stone ovens over fire, which helps it stay flat, but I baked mine in an oven because that's what was available. For the last and final part of my dish, I will be making Uzbek plav or rice pilaf. For the last and final part of my dish, I'll be making Uzbek plav or rice pilaf. And typically it has lots of meats in it, but I'll be making mine vegetarian. The ingredients for this dish are olive oil, onions, carrots, chickpeas or garbanzo beans, water, sea salt, rice, garlic, and some spices at the end for extra flavor, black pepper, ginger, and nutmeg. The first step in this meal is hydrating your garbanzo beans. I did that last night, 24 hours ago. After they've been soaking. So now we're going to rinse 3 cups of rice to get them ready to cook. You can rinse your rice by putting it in a strainer with a cloth over it so the rice gets clean, but none of it goes through the holes. Now, once your rice is all rinsed, you can put it in your pot. And add your water to begin cooking. 6 cups of water for your 3 cups of rice. While the rice is cooking, it's time to prepare our vegetables. I've got my rinsed carrots and I'm going to peel them so they're ready to chop. After I've cut my carrots into thin straws, I'm going to cut my onions into half rings. We'll start by sauteing our chopped carrots in 3 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. When you see your carrots starting to brown, you can add in your onions and keep mixing. After your vegetables have been sauteed, you can start boiling 6 cups of water. Now in a big pot, we're going to take our pre-soaked chickpeas and put in our spices, which is 1 teaspoon of black peppercorn and 2 teaspoons of red cayenne pepper. Now we're going to add our rice to our vegetable mixture. After we've done that, we're going to take our rice and put it in on top of our chickpeas. Now a good mixing. Now we'll take our boiling water and add it to our vegetable rice mixture. You can stir it together and then you cover it and let it cook on low for 50 minutes. Toward the end of the steeping, you put in some whole garlics for extra flavor. All done!
School project for Phoebe. She made this bread.